Alright, so here we are, number 4. Check out the figure ABCD, where are the coordinates for points A, B, C, D. And you can see that I've got these written out. Actually, I kind of cheated a little bit because all I did was I went back to number 2 because I used the same figure and I just copied them. So you can pause the recording and make sure you got these original ones correct. And let's move on to letter B. What are the coordinates for the points A prime, B prime, C prime, D prime after reflecting the figure across the x-axis? So in the last problem, you remember it was like some triangle up here, and we went across the y-axis, and then it ended up being like a mirror image over on that side. All right, so that was across the y-axis. But in this case, we're going to go reflect across the x-axis. So you could take point A and then count, see how far it is, and then go to the same distance on the other side and make it A prime. But that kind of is time consuming, and the question does not actually say you have to graph it. Now you can if you feel like you have to, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the rules that we learned in class, and if you didn't learn it, that's okay, or if you didn't memorize it, I'm about to go over it right now, and maybe it'll refresh your mind. Or maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. Okay. Now, the rule that I just went over on number 3 was that if I went across the y-axis, well, then the y value stayed the same. So now that I'm going across, reflecting across the x-axis, the x value is going to stay the same. So it was -9, it's going to stay -9. And here it was -7, it's going to stay -7, -12, it's going to stay -12. This x value is -12, it's going to stay -12. So I'm reflecting across the x stays the same. Now, so that means what does the y value do? The y value is going to become its opposite. And it kind of makes sense because you see, look, all the y values of this figure right here are going to be negative because it's down here below 0. All right, but if I was to reflect it and move that same figure, I'm not going to draw it very good, but let's see, something like that, it's going to be up in this positive y value because it's above 0. If that doesn't make sense to you, you can actually count it and graph it up there, but all my y values are going to become opposite. So it was -6, it's going to now become +6. It was -11, it's going to become +11. It was -11, it's going to become +11. It was -7, it's going to become +7. So now for the description part, which is probably the most important part, according to the new standards. See, describe the effect of the coordinates, and I would say after reflecting across the x-axis, the x values stayed. Let me fix this. The same. The y values became opposite. There we go. That's a simple description of what happened to my x values and my y values after this reflection.